My word, the people running America's military operations just accidentally revealed classified war plans in a group chat that included a journalist. This isn't satire, this isn't fiction, this is the actual Trump administration of 2025. On the 24th of March, The Atlantic published a bombshell article by its editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, revealing that he was mistakenly added to a Signal group chat called Houthi PC Small Group by National Security Advisor Michael Waltz. That's right, the most sensitive discussions about bombing Yemen were happening on a commercial messaging app, and they accidentally invited the press. Let's pause for a moment to appreciate the magnitude of this screw-up. This wasn't some low-level staffer. This was the National Security Advisor, along with the Secretary of Defense, Vice President, Secretary of State, Director of National Intelligence, the CIA Director, all casually discussing military strike plans in a text chain on Signal. What the fuck? Defense Secretary Pete Hegsworth shared operational details, including target information, weapons to be deployed, and the timing of strikes. This is information that, in Goldberg's words, if read by an adversary of the United States, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel. And he's right. This is incredibly dangerous. Goldberg did the right thing. He waited for the event to unfold before revealing to us, the world, just how incompetent the Trump administration is. Think of it, right? No one noticed that there was a journalist watching every word for 10 days.
Why were those details shared on Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
That's it. The NSC said it was authentic.
That's the same Pete Hegsworth who, by the way, had just announced a crackdown on leaks, including potential polygraph tests for defense personnel. So, Pete, bro, maybe start by checking if you're texting war plans to The Atlantic, to a magazine, to potentially your enemy. You know, we should really pause here and taste the irony, the flavors that are all around us, because remember when Donald Trump spent years ranting about Hillary Clinton's email server?
I made a mistake using a private email.
That's for sure.
And if I had to do it over again, I would obviously do it differently. But I'm not going to make any excuses. It was a mistake, and I take responsibility for that.
That was more than a mistake. That was done purposely, okay? That was not a mistake. That was done purposely. When you have your staff taking the Fifth Amendment, taking the Fifth, so they're not prosecuted. When you have the man that set up the illegal server taking the Fifth, I think it's disgraceful.
Remember his rallies filled with lock her up, lock her up, lock her up.
Hillary Clinton's the one that gives away classified information.
Chanted over and over again over alleged mishandling of classified information. Well, Hillary Clinton never accidentally CC'd the Washington Post on plans to bomb another country. So what's been the White House's response to this catastrophic security breach? Brian Hughes, the spokesman of the National Security Council, actually had the audacity to say that the thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials. Brian, come here, mate. What the fuck is wrong with you? In any case, do you know what it's not a demonstration of? Basic operational security. Using Signal, a commercial messaging app for planning military strikes, violates virtually every protocol in place for handling classified information. The government has secure communication systems specifically designed for these exact discussions, but apparently that was too much trouble. Perhaps most revealing is the fact that Vice President J.D. Vance was caught expressing actual dissent in these messages. Vance wrote to the group, Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. He went on to note that only 3% of the US trade runs through the Suez Canal, and questioned whether the timing was right. Now that is quite the contrast to his public lockstep with Trump on, well, everything.
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America.
But don't worry, we're not seeing character development here. No. JD backtracked fast when Stephen Miller chimed in with, "As I heard, the president was clear, green light." Vance quickly fell in line, writing, "If you think that we should do it, then let's go." I just hate bailing Europe out again.
Have you said thank you once?
JD, we've said thank you. We've said thank you. We love the United States. We genuinely... Thank you. Stop being a dick. Protect our common values of democracy. God damn it, man.
Have you said thank you once?
Now, the absolute dropkick to this whole fiasco is this. Goldberg quietly left the chat after confirming the strikes were real, and still nobody noticed that he had been there. Not a single person in Trump's national security team thought to question, who is that mysterious JG that has now left the group? Seriously, this incident would just be pure comedy if it wasn't so dangerous. We're talking about the most powerful military in human history, planning deadly strikes that killed at least 53 people according to Houthi reports. And they can't even manage a proper group text. Democrat Representative Pat Ryan, an Army veteran on the Armed Services Committee, summed it up perfectly with the military acronym FUBAR. That's fucked up beyond all recognition, because that is what this is. That is what we're living through right now. Legal experts are now scratching their chins, noting that this might violate the Espionage Act, which governs the handling of national defense information. But look, you and I know this, right? I'm sure that the Republicans who demanded prison time for Hillary Clinton will find no issue here whatsoever. Of course they won't find an issue. No. Finding an issue would mean that they have principles, and principles today are just woke. Now, what was President Trump's response when asked about this massive security breach?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine.
That's it. That's all he had to say about his own administration casually texting out war plans to the press. So the next time you hear someone from this administration talk about national security, just remember, these are the same people who accidentally included a journalist in their secret bombing plans. These are the same people entrusted with nuclear codes. If this is how they handle a chat about Yemen, God help us if we ever get into a crisis with Russia or China. Amateur Hour at the White House continues. And we're all a little less safe because of it. But I will continue to report it. So, if you want more of it, if you want to encourage me, please do subscribe. Really appreciate you. Thanks.